What's up, everybody? Dark 185. There's levels to this. All right. So, just when the Series S does something good and I start getting excited for it and I want to recommend it, and I see my boy Motion Gaming, shout out to you. He made a video talking about how much he loves his Xbox Series S, especially he's got a high-end PC and he's got a PS5. Somebody was arguing with him that his PC is not high-end because it only has a 2070 Super. That's what the PC master elitists do. They argue with each other about who got better specs. Regardless, he's enjoying his Xbox Series S. And then I see all the apologists out there. I know you're going to hop in the channel, and I know you're going to start talking to me about, Doc, you don't understand. Look, I get it. I don't understand. I need you to explain this to me. If you're going to leave a comment, explain it to me. Don't use the word tools. Don't use developer kits weren't ready. Stop. Stop. People went out there, paid $300 for this next generation console, and last generation hardware is running games better. Here we go. This is going to be the argument. I saw this chart. Actually, shout out to MM2K, Project Storm, and the panel yesterday on that podcast. They were talking about Stadia, and they showed this chart that's going to show the resolutions that the new Resident Evil game is going to be running at. It had the Xbox Series X, it had the PS5, and what you expected, 4K 60, right? Looked good. Then it had the Xbox Series S, it had the Xbox One X, it had the PS4 Pro, and then it had the regular Xbox and the regular PS4. And then it has Stadia at the bottom. The whole point of the podcast was showing how Stadia is running games well, which it is. It's going to be running the game like at 4K 60. And then I think it said in parentheses dynamic scaling, which whatever. If I can't tell what you're doing, as long as it looks nice, it's okay. That's fine. As long as it looks nice and it runs nice. That second one's extremely important. And it runs nice. Now, it's bad whenever you assume, but I'm going to assume here. I'm going to assume that most people that are involved in making these games probably game themselves and should probably have a glimpse as to what gamers may want versus something else. And for the Xbox Series S to be running this game at 1440p, but only be able to hit 45 frames per second is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. When the Xbox One X is going to be running the game at 1080p 60, I think PS4 Pro is also running the game at 1080p 60. What is happening? Why isn't there a 1080p mode on the Xbox Series S? If there is, then please correct me. Please correct me. Because I looked at Eurogamer as well, and I looked at their article. It did not mention a 1080p mode for the Xbox Series S. Now maybe it'll be something like the Outriders, where tomorrow or next week they'll come out and it'll be like, yo, we made a mistake, my bad, it's actually gonna be running better. Maybe. But this is too many times that we see this stuff happening with the Xbox Series S. And until my boy Motion Gaming actually bought the system and he told me firsthand like his experience with it and how awesome it is for him, it was a hard time for me to recommend it to people. But in his situation, when you got a powerful PC, so if you do want to play the game, the best graphical fidelity, you go ahead and play it on your PC. But if you just want the console version of the game for whatever reason, and you want to play on your big screen TV, just laid back chilling, then okay, the X makes sense. Especially if you already got Ultimate Game Pass, which he already did, it made sense, right? But man, this thing is hard to recommend for somebody that doesn't have a system at all. If you don't have a system at all and you have decent internet and you're a budget person, I don't know. I could probably make the argument where Stadia makes more sense if you got great internet. But that'll be another video. Maybe I can make that argument. I don't know. I really have to sit down and think about it. Maybe I will make that video. Anyways, but to play this game at 1440p, who's the market for the Xbox Series S. Because if you're telling me that it's a budget gamer, or that it's a family, that it's a mom and dad that just buys it for their kids so that they could play, they probably don't have a 1440p monitor. They probably have it connected to their regular 1080p TV. So if it can't even do 1440p 60, why would you even aim for that? Why wouldn't you aim for a stable 1080p 60? I don't know. I know the apologists are going to jump in here and try to tell me everything, that how the tools are still missing, how the developer kits were late. I don't care. I really don't. I really don't care. And then here's the other thing that you're gonna say, right? You're gonna say how it's the developer's fault because other developers obviously were able to make the game run better on the Xbox Series S. To the consumer that's buying this game, that wants this game specifically to run well, it doesn't matter what other games ran well. It doesn't matter. It's how does this game run? How does this game run? I don't know, man. Maybe it is the developer's fault. And if it is the developer's fault, then maybe we should be vocal about this and say something, because this is ridiculous. 1440p. I still don't understand, though, how something runs better on last generation hardware than it does on new generation hardware. Well, actually, it doesn't run better on last generation hardware, because the new generation hardware, like the Xbox Series X and the PS4 and the PS5, run it at 4K 60. So it does run better on the new generation hardware. On the true new generation hardware, it does run better. On that weird thing that is the Xbox Series S, that's where it runs iffy. I don't know. DocDog1985, yo, there's levels to this. And when you're picking resolution over frames, there's levels to that too. We out. Peace.